Now, as Queensland continues to rebuild its economy after the floods, property consultants THG and McCulloch Robertson have launched a survey of the health of the state's property sector. Let's hope the results out today will identify priorities for the industry in improving its long-term growth and sustainability. For more on the survey results and outlook, THG economist Richard Catter standing by in Brisbane. Warm welcome into the show. Let's just talk the survey. Why did you decide to conduct it?
Well, we've been seeing a lot of negative data come out about the sort of malaise associated with the Queensland property industry, and we thought we'd go to the industry and actually ask them what they see as being the issues facing the industry today and what they see as being the issues facing the industry in the future.
So, who was interviewed?
We conducted the survey to just the broad range of all property industry participants, and we had 250 responses, and maybe 40% were consultants, 30% developers, and the balance split between other and investors and government.
And
so we think,
carry on, please.
With that spread, and having actually 250 responses gives us pretty robust data and a good indication of what the issues are facing the industry.
Have we got some sort of sufficient water that's gone under the bridge from the GFC to know quite clearly impacts that are being felt?
I don't really think that the issues facing the Queensland property industry at the moment, besides obviously, the reduced sentiment and bullishness in the market that's in all sectors of the market resulting from the GFC, but I think the issues facing the Queensland property industry, and this is what our survey found out, are more structural, fundamental things that are specific to the state, such as excessive infrastructure charges and a sort of restrictive planning regime. But one element, obviously, is the availability of finance in Queensland, which is a direct result of the GFC.
This is the issue because time and again we hear of the overbuilding phenomenon, and we were talking about this with our RP data earlier today actually. When you look at the Sunshine Coast, for instance, which presumably is captured by all of this as well, we go through these bouts of overbuilding, and a large amount of what we're seeing today was signed off on before the GFC. Are you saying that that restrictive lending is necessarily a bad thing as a result?
I think, what you have to do is you have to look at these different markets. I think a lot of people sort of think of Queensland as being a small market that's fairly sort of monocultured, but the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast are vastly different to the rest of the states. They're dominated by the sea change phenomenon and also a lot of discretionary purchases. And as soon as the GFC hits, those discretionary purchases will leave the market. But Queensland does have an overrepresentation of housing shortfall compared to other states in Australia, and this is a result of the minerals boom and the impact that's having on Queensland and the demand for labour, and that resulting in high migration to the state, and the fact that we have these issues facing our market, be them restrictive planning or infrastructure charging or finance, that are not allowing the developers to provide enough stock to the market. So whilst there may be some sort of overbuilding in places like the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast, a lot of that is lifestyle stock that's not sort of there for your key workers and your miners and everything else to live in.
What's the evidence, though, to suggest that those key workers and the miners have the demand to go and be purchasing in order for these construction companies to obtain the approval? As night follows day, you can't put horse before the cart, can you? And you can't get a construction company getting authorisation until it knows it's got pre-sales of X amount to warrant, I guess, breaking new ground.
That's exactly right, and this comes back to the whole sentiment thing and everything else. And if you look at the forecast growth in Queensland in terms of economic growth driven by the minerals boom, and it's very, very strong. But at the moment there isn't that sentiment in the market to crack on and provide housing for these workers. And it's not, I think, gone are the days that we can expect everyone to purchase a home, but I think what we'll see is a very strong property investment market in coming years, if not months, in Queensland, as there's that influx of workers moving to the state to provide the skills to grow our economy, basically.
Well, how long is that going to take? Because if you say the sentiment isn't there now, and we've been crowing on about the mining boom for more than 12 months, how long does it take for sentiment to turn and the investment to flow?
I think that is an issue for the property industry to address, is their ability to change and to evolve to meet new demands. You know, where no longer is the traditional large house on a large block of land going to be the dominant housing type in Queensland, and our survey has shown that. The majority of respondents expect small houses, be them attached or detached, but small houses on a small block of land to be the dominant housing type in the future, and we need to start providing that stock on the market now, so these people, these key workers and, you know, transient workers, for them to occupy those dwellings.
THG economist Richard Cadder, do appreciate it. Many thanks.
Thank you.